morning, everybody. We are going to be talking about part of the creative process of flipping furniture and how to get ideas, mistakes I've made, all kinds of things like that. In a minute, I'm going to show you a piece that I just purchased and what my thought process was and how we work in improvise, adapt, and overcome. I am Natalie Thomas. I am with princesspower.com. And over at Princess Power, we talk about all kinds of things. We talk about health. We talk about relationships, and we talk about business. I am an owner of multiple businesses. I did over $10 million in business in 4 years and significantly more than that. I've just never sat down and added up the numbers. But let's have a look at one of the pieces I bought last night and one of the things that I've run into with it. I thought I'd get home last night and spend about 10 minutes and at least being part of it. And I had the idea of what I was going to do. And nope, it's not going to work. So we're going to move on to the next thing. Alrighty, here we go. And this is in my dining room, and that mess behind me is a bunch of stuff that I'm getting ready to donate. I have always got a mess because I am busy and you have to cut corners somewhere. I don't spend a lot of time and or cleaning, and didn't have room in my garage for this, and I can think better when it's in my dining room. I don't know that my husband likes that, but hey. So this is an armoire, and it is on the small side. So that is mistake number one for me. This is my third piece that I've purchased without finding out the size first. It looked big, and so there we go. I'm in, and I get a lot of my pieces for free. I paid $30 for this one. You have to take into account what might you be spending besides your time to invest in, so therefore how much can you get out of the piece. Now I knew that my last piece it was similar to this, sold for $250 in 2 days. However, this one turns out to be about half as big as that, so I will have to immediately rethink the price, which also, you know, things that go into that are, do I change the hardware and how much time and money am I going to put into it? Now, I happen to really like this hardware, so that's a no-brainer. We'll be keeping that, unless there's something real significant with the style that I go through. Now, I made another mistake on this piece that I guess, I don't know that it's my mistake, but there is one shelf in here. There is room for a second shelf. But what are we seeing through the back? We're seeing my windows and my curtains. Somebody cut a hole in there, and the seller didn't disclose that. So that's an issue. That's something that I'm probably going to have to fix to sell it. Now I'm going to take you across the room. I'm going to show you a piece that I have. Isn't this a beautiful piece in my dining room? I have had that for 6, 7, 8 years maybe. And I love it, and we'll get closer because you're probably not noticing the problems. There are many, but I've never taken care of any of them. So this picture is leaning up there because behind it we see the wall. I'm primarily covering that up. There's a shelf leaning here for probably the same reason. And if we go down further, there we go. There are holes even up there. Now I bought some veneer. Veneer is like a very thin paper type wood that you glue on top of wood. And I could have put that on there. I intended to put that on there, and then I would have had to have stained it to match. I am a real sucker for cherry wood, but it is falling out of favor right now, but I love it. So for myself, I didn't fix that piece, but to sell this one, I will probably need to take care of that. It would have been nice if the owner disclosed it. But speaking of nice, one of the things that was really great about this piece is the fact that it's in 2 parts. So that made it easy to carry. When you are flipping furniture, and I will flip the camera for just a second here while I'm trying to. There we go. When you're flipping furniture, you have to take into account, where do the people have this furniture that you're going to get? You know, is it a giant heavy armoire that's upstairs? One of the reasons I didn't start flipping furniture a couple years ago, when I had the opportunity and really wanted to and was excited about it, was because I didn't have a pickup truck. So I now have a pickup truck, which is very, very convenient. And I did get lost last night. That's a long story that we won't necessarily go into. But lost my train of thought. There we go. Sorry about that. Well, I'm really messed up here. So we'll just forget that and go on to the next thing. So how do I get ideas? I get a lot of my ideas off of Pinterest. And if you want to follow me on Pinterest or Instagram for that matter, it is three P's, PPP, and the last P is the beginning of the word princess. So PP, Princess Power. And that would be the same. I don't think I really tweet much, but we're on Twitter and all that kind of thing. So here we go. So I print out some images. Let's say I have two boards on Pinterest that might particularly be of interest to you, although I do have video boards and I have a bunch of stuff over there. But I have one called Chalk Paint and I have one called Printables. Now I like to do a lot of decoupage. A lot of people that flip painted furniture pretty much paint everything white or a very pale green. And that's very sellable for them, and it's safe and it's fast, it's quick and easy. And those are things I want to take into consideration. Now, some of the ideas I'm going to show you today, I'm probably not going to choose them because of the season. Right now, I'm wearing red. It's December, it's almost Christmas, and that's where people's mindset is. So you want to look at your piece and you want to think, where would a person use this piece? So in my case, because this armoire is small, they might use it in a child's room, or they might use it in a kitchen. And it's maybe less likely to go in a large adult's room. An adult's large room might be a better way to say that. And so when I'm choosing my images, because I like to do decoupage, I just really enjoy that. I really think it adds some uniqueness to the piece. Because I'm artistic, you can look at my walls behind me when you're not looking at that junk. Look at that beautiful piece I have. That was a wedding gift from a friend because I absolutely fell in love with it. And it was an old armoire that she'd taken apart and we hung on the wall. And I wanted it to look like an entry to another room. But if you look at my walls around it, they are not a solid color, okay? I dearly love color and I love creativity. And the idea of flat and boring and one color just doesn't excite my soul. Now, not everybody else is going to be the same thing. Some people might think my walls are outdated or they're ugly or whatever. I was trying to match the piece, but I didn't have the piece or a picture of the piece with me, so I was having to paint from memory, so my colors didn't match perfectly. But hey, I'll go over here and show you I'm trying to not show you my bunnies, but hey, okay, they were on my table and they got moved over here, and yes, it's Christmas, but anyway, I love this painting. I drug this painting all the way from California, but look at all the colors in that sky. If you start looking at paintings of famous masters, you never ever see a sky that is just one color. They just take the blue and slap it on. I tried it once when I first started painting. I am not a fine art artist, but when I tried, the day was blue. It was just crystal blue. And I painted the sky blue and it was boring and it was ugly and it did nothing. It was flat. And when I started looking at other people's work, I realized that they always use more than one color in a sky, and it makes it really exciting. So I love this painting and I love how it blends with my walls. And yes, that is Batgirl and that is mine. And I bought it for me because I love it. My granddaughter had one and I was envious. So, okay, here we go. We are going to be talking about some ideas. So I have these two front panels. Now I have been looking for a piece that has a large front panel on each side. There's probably about as big as this whole piece. And it didn't work. This piece, once I got it, I realized instantly that I wasn't going to be able to do what I wanted to do because these are very small and narrow. They're a little bit long, and they're actually probably close to 22 inches long when I look at it. So this is the design that I have had in my head that I just really am excited to paint at some point. And I was going to come home, paint the dresser blue, and decoupage this on. And what I do is my laser printer is printing a really tiny pink line down things. So I work out my ideas first, and then I go down and have it printed at Staples, which really stinks, but because I have like an $800 printer, so that's why it stinks. But whatever, improvise, adapt, and overcome, right? So here we go. So Cinderella is not gonna work, and now let's say it was going to work. Let's say that I didn't have the panels and these were just one solid piece here. Okay. That is still what, 1/4 of the size of what I would need. Well, it's very simple. I go to blockprints.com. I upload my images. I tell it how many pages I want it to be, which means you just guess. And then it tells you what size it'll be. You go measure your piece and you see, will it fit? Will it not fit? Really simple. So again, you might want to follow my Pinterest boards. Once I've printed these out, I keep them and I have a little pile and I can go back because, you know, my ideas are ideas because I like them. So maybe I'll use them again. So this happened to be a piece of paper in a different size that I printed for one of my last projects. And it was a Coke project. And I painted the piece red and put that on there. It took very little time and it sold in 2 days. So what do we want to do? If we're flipping furniture, selling it fast is fun. It feels so good. So there we are. That's a potential. Now, do I want to be a one-trick pony and paint everything red and put Coke things on it? No, not necessarily, but it is holiday time and red is in people's minds right now. And apparently I have found it's extremely collectible. I didn't know that, but you learn as you go along. So yeah, I could do it. Now, also, I have a basement full of furniture. I have in my garage what was going to be my next project. And the reason people like me that flip furniture addictively check Facebook Marketplace is because you don't want to miss, number one, that free piece, or number two, the beautiful, amazing, one-of-a-kind antique pieces. Okay, well, not quite one of a kind, but you know what I mean. I did pay $30 for this piece, which, as small as it is probably too much. I didn't realize how small it was. I thought it was going to be bigger. So now here's another piece that I already had printed out. I could cut that in half and, you know, put half on one side, half on the other side, but it's very soft colors. It's great, but maybe better for springtime, because if you're going to put things in your booth, you might want to think about seasons. You might want to think about just how is that going to be perceived. Now I'm putting a couple of my favorite ones. This just, I don't know, it's Rapunzel. Let's go in closer here. I love her, but I don't think there's enough definition in the print. And then I'm thinking about what colors would I paint my piece? How would I make her stand out? I love this print, but probably not for this piece. Okay, so one of the things I'm looking for when I'm looking at my Pinterest boards is I'm also looking at the shape of the image. You know, is it a tall shape? Is it a horizontal shape? And for this piece, being that it's longer than it is wide, I'm looking for an image that's going in that direction. That's going to make things a lot better for me. This is a nice image, and it would be a probably very easy sell. If I were going to blockprints.com, I would make it 2 images wide, and then which means I would be using 4 pieces of paper, and I think I could make that work. I could, and it's actually a really good choice. You know, half would be going on one side, half would be going on the other side. And then what color would we be painting the outside? We'd probably be painting a very, very soft pink, almost a peachy pink, or it could be painted creamy with some highlights on the drawers, something like that. Now, here's another fun image that I would like to do sometime, probably not on this piece. Okay, here we go. Again, I would have to make it bigger. The man would probably be on one side, the woman would be on the other. I think of this one as kind of a sorry Sorry about the phone call. I tried putting it in airplane mode and then I couldn't connect to do the video, so that didn't work. Now, another piece that I did that sold in 2 days was a mermaid themed dresser. And it was actually an armoire like this. So this is one of the reasons I like armoires. Um, they can sell pretty inexpensively because people don't know what to do with them. But this would be a really good choice if I sized it right. It would be fast and easy. Now, what would I want? I would want two of these images. I would want them reversed so they face each other. So I would go into Paint program, which I've almost never used in my life. But it's on most computers. It's Microsoft Paint. And I would just flip the image and then I would take it down and after putting it into Block Poster or another program to make it bigger, or I suppose you could just center it. Maybe you could put a decorative piece on the top and the bottom. I'm just kind of thinking this through as I'm looking at the video. There we go. So that way, paint the piece in cream or a similar blue, and bam bam, that would probably be the fastest of any idea that I could choose. Again, I'm not looking to be a one-trick pony. These are two of my favorites. I have two of these images and I still have red paint from my last project. This has a lot of like glazing around the colors. And I think if someone were going to use this in a kitchen or a restaurant or a cafe, this would be super fun. And I think I could play around with the sizing and make it a little bit bigger. One of my hesitations with this particular image is it has a watermark down here that I could get away with. People would not necessarily realize it's a watermark, but it is. It says Fine Art America down there. And so therefore, I don't know whether I want to use that image, but I really, that's one of my favorites. Now I'm going to show you my final favorite. I still haven't made a choice, so you're going to have to follow me to find out what we pick in the end. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of how you go about making your decisions and what you take into consideration. Now, all right, I'm going to admit it. This is like really one of my favorites, but the consideration is going to be that this armoire is so small, this might not fit well in a woman's room. But this is an Art Deco picture, and it's two images of women, so one could fit on each side, and it's really got some beautiful corals and pinks and grays, and I think I could just paint this thing up stupendously fun to support that picture. It would be more work. And my biggest consideration is I don't have the paint colors. So that takes another investment on my part. So therefore, as much as I love this and would truly like to do this, like this would be, yeah, my number one choice. I probably won't do it. Okay, so there we go. Those are things to think about when you are choosing a piece to paint or what you're going to put on it. I've got my piece. My piece is chosen. Okay, love those knobs. Look at those knobs. Okay, but gotta narrow down the color. This one may sit here a few days. I may have to think about it, and who knows? I may be scrolling through and come up with a different image at some point. But those are the ones I'm thinking about right now. If you have a thought, if you have a vote, if you had a favorite, feel free to comment. And as always, we love it if you like, comment, or share. All of those things help us in our search engine rankings. And everything that I like to do is about helping other people, how to run their businesses. I have a program, it's a 6 DVD program. Pardon me, it's 5. I have another 6th one that I'm working on that teaches people all about budgeting. It's how to have an extravagant budget wedding, how to budget in general. A lot of people don't know how to do that. I budget food, budget healthcare, budget travel, budget entertainment. And then I have a lot of relationship things thrown in there. I have a little bit of business thrown in there. That is my Princess Power program. And I think it sells for $197. And I am putting together a budget remodeling DVD. Remodeling is one of my passions. I am just sort of eclectic weirdo person. I never talk about my Q obsession. I read 5 to 6 hours a day, and I'm fascinated with Q right now. But most of what I do is teaching around health, relationship, or business. So furniture flipping, of course, ties into businesses. I have multiple businesses. One of my businesses is a junk business, and I wind up getting a lot of free stuff out of that, which I turn around and flip in this process. So you may not want to go that far in life, but if you want to learn that business, I also teach about that. I have my main business is chanceandwater.com. I import and sell water ionizers, water filtration products. I've been doing that for 12 years, and it is amazing. So I want to thank you for watching, and check out princesspower.com if you get a chance. Bye bye.